Well, we're using this. Hey y'all, APG Jamie here. And today brings us another episode of hashtag Halloweenisms. So I got these two big old tags, and we're going to make one tag, but we're using two. Okay, and we're doing some inking, and we're going to use some paper dolls. Those little things, those little clear things, those are coin holders, you know, for like your collectible monies. Not that kind of collector, y'all. Anyway, we're going to use those. So I decided to get out this stencil, and so we're going to use it just to add more interest to the background, because the tag has already got a background on it. I mean, yeah, it's perfectly fine. And we're using archival coffee colored ink. There's a brief list of ingredients in the description below. Click on ... more, or more ... I don't know, whatever it is, y'all. Anyway, information about this junk and treasures, excuse me, the collectibles that I chose for this quickish. Well, it wasn't real quick for me. It wasn't an all-day project either. Anyway, it is sped up, and some parts are in super hyper speed, and some are practically normal speed even. And so I typed up this thing to print out on the computer, and then I jammed up my printer, and OMG, have you ever tried to get a jam? I mean a serial jam out of a laser printer. OMG. I had to get the Phillips head screwdriver out and a pair of tweezers and everything. And at one point this little part popped out, and I thought, OMG, serial. But I got it stuck back in there, and it made an unusual noise afterwards. But then I slipped some more paper in there, and then it did okay. So I think it's going to be okay, y'all. So I have that circle punch, and only one thing where I wanted to put the coin holder in there was close enough for that to fit. The other one I'm going to, as you saw, I traced them, and now I'm cutting it out with the craft knife, and I am making that particular hole way too big. Okay. So anyway, and this one's going to be, that one I think was just right. Y'all, it's the Goldilocks and Three Bears story. So I got some pencil lines, and I'm erasing those, and we're going to ink around the inside with the coffee colored ink, and also archival black. I think it's black soot, if it needs to be specific for you, if you're in an ocean of a world Pacific. And let's see, I think I inked, we already inked around the outside of the tags. We used again the coffee and the black. And now we're just going around the one fellow right there, because it's his body that I want. But first we're going to paint up their little faces, because I like doing that. I don't know, it's not really necessary on fellers, but you know, I still did it. And the one whose body we're going to use, we end up painting his clothes and his shoes. And you will get to see that whole thing, okay? Water brush, because I'm using ohuhu markers, and they are a watercolor marker. And I really do like using them on these paper dolls, okay? There's some bits on that particular paper doll that I'm like, well, I don't want all that there. It doesn't need to be there. It's, you know, so I'm trimming it out. Because, you know, sometimes I get stuck in the details. Sometimes I don't. I just no rhyme reason. It's hard to write rhyme poems. Just saying. So anyway, inking around a little bit more, and I decided I wanted him. Even though the marker looks blue, it's purple. And by the time it gets dry and I get through daubling it off and stuff like that, it has a slight blue cast to it. So I'm wiping, well, I'm not wiping it. I'm just daubling it. I'm just patting it up and down. You can't tell, but that's what I'm doing. I'm patting up and down with my napkin back there. I have it wrapped around my finger, and I'm just patting up and down and up and down. And as you can see, in this particular view, it looks pretty good. Well, I think it looks pretty good in real life. But later on, I think it gets harder to tell that it's there. And that is a darker brown than what we used on the shoe. And then I decided he's going to get a green vest and a green tie and red hair. I like the gingers, y'all. I can't help it. I like the gingers. So anyway, doing that. Using the water brush to erase some little areas that didn't make me happy. Once again, it's the tiny details I get stuck on sometimes, often, frequently. Again, this is Halloweenisms. And there's a link to the playlist in the description below, and probably in the upper right hand corner if it works out that way, and to previous Halloweenisms from this year and a couple of years ago, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm going to use orange on his hat, and when I put it on there, it actually comes out and it looks kind of tannish. In real life, it looks tannish too. So I got out a brighter orange, and that just made it a little bit of a darker tannish color. So, you know, it's how it goes sometimes. So now I'm going to open these little coin doohickeys, and they're not the easiest things to open. You got to get your fingernail in the perfect little loopy thing. You know, it's like a thumb notch, only teeny tiny. And you got to get your fingernail in there just right to get it open. And I didn't care too much for how the circles were flopping around in there, so I'm just going to use some diamond glaze to stick them into the coin holders. And some of them I had to, you know, trim them around to make them fit, and that one's pretty tight. And I'm like, oh, no, I can't get it out. I guess I didn't need to glue it, but gluing it I am. So we got that done, and this is where I discovered that one hoe is like way big, that one's a little small, and that one was pretty near just right. I don't think I had to enlarge it at all. So I enlarged this hole and think of how I'm going to fix the others, or the other one that's really way big. And so we just got some black cardstock, and I'm going to stick it onto the back, because that one, it's just gonna, you know, it's not good. Now it's good. So we're going to glue on our little coin holder, and I try to orient it so that the lettering kind of matches up to the way it originally was. And if it doesn't, it's pretty much okay too, because, you know, as my grandma told me once, you can't tell on a moving cow. I don't know what that had to do with me. Anyway, so we're just using the diamond glaze on that. It's pretty good for plastic stuff, and these are little plastic coin holders. And we put some weight on it because we had to weight on it. And now we're going to glue these other bits of cardstock onto the back side of the tag so that the little coin holder is facing up. The opening of the coin holder is facing up. So we're doing that, and then I have to wait for that too. So yeah, smooshing it down. I think I put some weight on it. Oh, we're just going to move right along and chop some heads off. Ha ha ha! Because I want their heads. Okay? Okay. If you saw the thumbnail, you already know. If you didn't pay that much attention to it, that's okay. You're fixing to see it. This is a shorter-ish video. It's not real long. A couple of them had little things on there I just wanted to trim around. I'm like, okay, yeah, it's perfect. So I'm putting the lids on there, and I'm trying to make sure that that teeny tiny thumb notch is in a direction that I can get my teeny tiny thumbnail in there to pop it off, okay? And they're sticking closed okay. I mean, they're not like super tight. As you saw, they didn't fall off. So, okay, there we go. Like, yeah, that's good. Yep. Now we're going to glue down the body. We only need one body. Nobody knows. Ah, y'all. So, gluing them on, and as y'all saw earlier when I was first tracing out our circles, I had that circle up underneath his hand, so now his hand is in the way and it won't glue down flat. Oh, here comes the scissors, cutting it off. Just shortening his arm just by a few inches. You can't tell. No, you can't. You really can't even see it in real life. I don't know if my husband will notice it or not, but I don't think so. So we're going to add a shadow underneath him just because, you know, we need to ground him to the bottom of the tag, more or less. And we're just going to put a little shadow underneath there. It's just a little shadow with just below all. It writes on everything. Glass, plastic, paper. Yeah. So we're going to set that aside and let that dry for a little bit. Oh, we're going to glue it. Oh, we're going to put it. I don't even know what we're doing. Oh, my goodness. We're putting a black cardstock hole reinforcer up there. We will put one on the back because it was at this point that I decided, oh, I need to print something out, something funny-ish, you know, something Halloweenisms even. And so I was thinking about what I wanted to type out, and that's when, you know, the aforementioned jammed the printer, blah, blah, blah. So my heads were flip-flopping, sliding around inside our little coin holders. And I thought, well, I'm going to use some Aleene's Tack It over and over. And just using my pokey tool there to smoosh some of that on the back of the heads. Once it dries, these will be stickable removables. Okay? And I put a little bit of that onto the actual coin holders too, just to make sure the lids stay on, which I'm sure they will, until you want them off anyway. So this is the little thing I printed out, and took a long time to get the printer unjammed. Anyway, let me read that to you. No, let's wait for the photo montage. We're scrunching it down with old credit card or whatever kind of card. So here's our flip-flop. Okay, see? It's going to pop the lid off. You got to get the fingernail in there just right. Pop the lid off. Look, you can move the heads. See how it's stuck to my finger? Mm-hmm. Tack it over and over. So, and that stuff lasts a long time. And I'm going to pull off the other lid just so you can see that, yes, it comes off and stays on. So, there we go. Mm-hmm. It's funny. Oh, and I put a Tim Holtz clipping thing on there. So that's what the back looks like. And now we're back on the front. And I'm going to center it up and go, ta-da! Photo montage. Okay. So think of this as an advertisement. Circumstances got you down. Drop by your local Cerebral Matters Center for a change of perspective. CMC, proud sponsor of changing minds everywhere. Your gray matter matters to all of us at CMC. Must present full working cerebrum at time of appointment. Sorry, online services are not available. Have a change of mind? Refunds promptly attended to on the 31st Friday of October. Limited to one refund per lifetime. Cerebral Matters Center is a subsidy of Zombies Inc. Thanks for watching, and happy arting, y'all. Change your perspective.